we're gonna get to this last week, but Andor topped the charts at #1 on Nielsen's streaming ratings, with Disney and Lucasfilm looking to pivot from using its legacy characters in television shows. Do you think that the success will make them rethink this strategy?
So you're asking if you think they are going to go for legacy characters or start making up some of their own, or going with newer characters or individual characters. I don't know. I think the wise move, honestly, is to continue to go with either sort of side characters or smaller characters or background characters, because it's a lower chance of pissing people off. If you tell a Luke Skywalker story, everybody has had their own sort of mindset. What did Luke do between movies? Where is Luke going? What do I expect him to do? Well, if I don't tell the Luke story and you tell me a story about whoever, I think it gives it a little bit more flexibility and much more chance of success. And I think that's also why people fell in love with the side characters in Andor.
All right. What do you think, Chris?
What I would love for Disney to do, or Lucasfilm to do, and I'm going to sound like a broken record when I say this, but I would love for them to make animated features from the comic book stories that are out there. Those are some great stories that will. If you want some good straight up Star Wars stories, if you like a certain style or whatever, these comic books have it all handled. The stories are right there. The storyboards are right there. They need to do that.
That's a cool concept. Love it.
Threepios, you guys have any opinions on this?
I like how they include legacy characters sparingly. Like, I mean, having Luke show up at the end of Mandalorian season 2 was just perfect, or Darth Vader in Rogue One, those are great. But there's so many stories they can tell from across the galaxy. I personally liked the animated Visions show, and I thought that almost any one of those shorts could have just been developed into its own story, continuing story. So yeah, I think at this point they've filled in a lot of the gaps from the originals, and it just makes sense to move on with new ideas and new stories.
The answer is within the question in a sense. You said if would the success of Andor cause them to do something differently about how they handle legacy characters? I would think that the success of Andor just gives them a blueprint, which is exactly what I think almost everybody else said, which is that the answer is balance, which is what was Andor anyway? What was Rogue One anyway? It was the side story that incorporated some legacy elements, but mostly the core of it was original characters and a new story. So, I mean, I think that will cause them to hopefully keep doing that.
Got some good knowledge there. What do you think, Nick? You want to take us home?
I will try my best. And usually this game is a lot more fun if one of us has a weird, different opinion and we can argue. This isn't the question for that, because here's the reality. If you look at it by the numbers, 931 million minutes for Andor season 2 in streaming. I don't even know how that completely works. That's a lot of minutes. 4 consecutive weeks of setting records for streaming for this show, not to mention this tangential connection to Rogue One brought Rogue One up to 9th place in the listing and streaming for movies with 179 million minutes. Like, take something so tiny and minuscule and go, hey, let's make a story out of that, and it goes gangbusters like this. Like, there's so many other stories out there that, we've made books out of it with the certain point of view stories. Like, let's make some of those into stories or shows or develop characters. So this is a formula that absolutely works. And I think what Pete said up top is the thing. If it's a Luke story, if it's a Han story, everybody has a preconceived understanding or thought in their head or their head canon of who Han Solo is, of who Luke Skywalker is, so that we have expectations. Even if we're more of the level-headed fans, like I think we all are, there's a moment where you go, that wasn't what I wanted it to be. I didn't know who Cassian Andor was. I didn't know who Jyn Erso was. So this gave me the opportunity to go, holy crap, it's new. Give it to me. So I think this is a great, great way to go. And I hope that they find the opportunity to do more of these kinds of stories.